All right, let's bring in Governor Mike Huckabee now, who's just finished. He wrapped up about 150 push-ups this morning.
I sure did. I just got back from breakfast with Shia LaBeouf. We've been out chasing homeless guys for breakfast.
Catch any?
Yeah, we got some good stuff.
Did you get to the bottom of whether or not that whole thing is phony to begin with, which I think it is?
Who knows? Who cares? That's the bigger question.
Don't take the bait.
Who cares, Governor, about all of these phony scandals right now in Washington?
I care.
As the president has been calling them out, doing a couple of speeches over the past few days, saying Republicans are simply whining about me using executive power to do the things that they won't do. They won't pass a minimum wage increase. They'd rather sue me than do anything, so they're just whining about it.
You know, when I watched the speech, it was really embarrassing. I thought the president was petulant. He came across as a person who was whining, who refused to accept the fact that there's a serious problem. And unlike what he said about the not a smidgen of corruption, when you have an agency that has the ability to launch an investigation, conduct the investigation, come to a conclusion, end up with a decision, and then punish you all in one place with no checks and balances, as we typically have in the American justice system, and that agency goes rogue and starts trampling over the rights of people, Houston, we have a problem.
Right. It's scary.
Yeah,
so
it is very scary.
The president's been sued, as you know, by the Speaker of the House, John Boehner, for expanding what Boehner says is unconstitutionally executive power. Kind of a big deal. Speaker sues you.
Yeah.
Listen to the president's response to this.
I'm not sure which of the things I've done they find most offensive, but they've decided they're going to sue me for doing my job. You know, I mean, I might have said in the heat of the moment during one of these debates, I want to raise the minimum wage, so sue me when I do. But I didn't think they were going to take it literally.
In other words, I'm being persecuted for helping people.
Well, no, his specific words were, I'm being sued for doing my job. Actually, he's being sued because he's doing somebody else's job. His job is the executive branch. Ninth grade civics reminds us that these are different branches, separation of powers for a purpose. They were designed to be that way. Congress has powers, the president has powers, the courts have powers. No one has more power than the other, and the president has decided that he's all three branches when he wants to be. You can't do that. So he's not being sued because he's doing his job. He's being sued because he's failed to do his job. He's trying to do the job of another branch of government. That's why he's in trouble.
And yet Republicans or Democrats are quick to point out this week that, and we've heard it a couple of times now this week from Democrats who are saying, why are Republicans whining about this? President George W. Bush, President Ronald Reagan had way more executive actions than does President Obama. In fact, Ronald Reagan had way more recess appointments than President Obama did. So quit your whining. What do you say to that?
Well, the insanity of that is to say that the number of executive orders equals the gravity of the executive orders. It's like saying, look, he shot 75 caps out of a cap pistol, or 75 blasts from a water cannon. This guy over here used a 30-06. Okay, it's not the fact of how many the president did or did not do, it's what they did. And if the executive orders overstep the boundaries of executive power, that's the problem. It doesn't matter if you do one that you're not constitutionally capable of doing, that's one too many. You can do 300 that are within the bounds of the executive branch, and that's fine. That's not a problem. Yeah. That's what the president's in trouble for. And it's another way in which they're trying to sort of watch this hand, because what I'm really doing with this hand is what you don't want to see.
Yeah, these flowery speeches have worked in the past, covering up these so-called phony scandals, but it's becoming hard to ignore. Even the New York Times talking about the IRS in a piece yesterday. All right, we want to get your thoughts on this. What's happening to patriotism in America? There's a new poll out that says just 28% think America is the greatest nation on earth. This is the lowest of all time.
It's really frightening and disturbing. The good news is it can be turned around. We lack leadership. If we have a leader of the country who really believes that America is just sort of run-of-the-mill, one of the guys, no more than the Greeks, the Brits, you know, we're just one of the countries that are occupying planet Earth right now, then pretty soon people start thinking that's all we are.
You think this comes from the president and it's a trickle down?
I'm not blaming him solely. Okay. I think a lot of it is the mood the country's in. But look, the president sets the agenda. It's like the band leader sort of directs the music. And any organization takes on the role of its leader, whether it's a choir, whether it's a corporation, whether it is a country taking on, in essence, the personality of its leader. When we've had personalities who lifted up America, who reminded us of the greatness of this country, not to tell us false things. Look, the best thing for America is the truth. The truth is we are a nation that should not have existed apart from the providence of God and the extraordinary courage and heroism of people who risked their very drops of blood to give their kids freedom. This is a remarkable country created by people who pulled the muskets off their mantles. That those guns were better suited for hunting rabbits than chasing the British Army down. That was the best equipped, best financed army in the world at the time. This is a remarkable country, and look where we've been in 238 years. We should be celebrating that.
And we're just getting started.
According to this poll, 60% of self-identified liberals are not proud of the country. What does that tell you?
We have too many liberals. But, I mean, they need to be reformed.
Well, what does it mean to be patriotic?
You know what I would like to say to the liberals? If you don't think this is a great country, go to the one. Tell me where on earth you'd like to go. We'll pay you a one-way ticket. We'll get you over there. If this isn't the greatest country, then let's take a Democratic president's line and remind liberals that what he said to us was, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. When people will speak like that again, and remind us that America is great when Americans wish it to be great and work for it to be great. That's what we need. And throughout history, Democrats, Republicans alike have understood that one thing, that America was an exceptional country. This is the first time that we have not had presidents who lifted us up, Democrat or Republican.
Yeah.
So this is not a partisan issue.
Governor, you've got an exclusive interview tonight on your show, 8 p.m. here on the Fox News Channel. Who are you talking to tonight in a big interview?
Well, Justina Pelletier, the young, now 16-year-old girl who was 15 at the time that she was taken hostage by the People's Republic of Massachusetts, held for 16 months because her family disagreed with a medical diagnosis that was given by Boston Children's versus Tufts, both outstanding medical facilities. 2 years treatment at Tufts, erased by a 30-minute visit with a doctor from Boston Children's. They took the girl into custody, would not let her parents see her without armed guards present. They kept her for 16 months away from her friends, her family, her school, her church. And finally, she got released, and not a shred, let me use this word, not a smidgen of evidence against the family over it. First appearance tonight on our show, we'll talk to the entire family, the sisters, the mom, the dad. This is the most outrageous case of state abuse of parental rights I've ever seen, and I've seen some. This is the worst ever. Massachusetts owes this family an apology, and I'll bet they're going to have to pay out a huge settlement over this, and they should.
You've worked tirelessly for this family.
You have. You've been on this story when nobody had even heard of it.
Well, it really got to me, not because I'm a talk show host, but because I'm a parent, and I'm a grandparent. And I thought anyone comes after my kids or my grandkids, and I'm telling you.
Well said.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Amen.
I got your feeling on that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Governor.
Thanks.